Did you know in The Dark Knight, there's a point at about 1 hour and 55 minutes where Maroni is getting into his car to see his wife. At the left edge of the screen, you can actually see Two-Face attacking one of his goons, and when Maroni pauses to check his watch, you can actually see Two-Face in the side view mirror, as he has just enough time to get in. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Sherlock Holmes, the character of Professor Moriarty was originally voiced by an unknown actor, since casting hadn't been completed yet. After Jared Harris took the official role in Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, they actually went back and had Harris dub over the original actor's voice. This was done to preserve the continuity on any of the new DVD and Blu-ray copies. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Spider-Man: No Way Home, a fitting tribute is made to the late and great Stan Lee? Of course, any Marvel fan would know that in every Marvel movie there will always be a cameo from the comic book creator himself, Stan Lee. Given that Stan sadly passed away back in 2018, Marvel have had to be creative about how they give him cameos and pay homage to the legend. In No Way Home, they do so by the number on the taxi behind Peter Parker, which reads 1228, as Stan was born on the 28th of December. Did you know in Avengers: Age of Ultron? This is actually the second time that Dr. Hank Pym has been left out of an Avengers film that he was otherwise included in the comics for. In the comics, Hank actually built Ultron as a peacekeeping force, but the studio decided to leave him out since he was a major character in Ant-Man, which was their next film. He was also a founding member of the Avengers group, but he was left out of the first film as well. Did you know in Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, the sailor that tells Will about a ship with black sails mentions that it's next to an island where he trades spices for delicious long pork. This is to show that this sailor knows that the Pelagostos are actually cannibals, since long pork is slang for human flesh. He then takes them to the island, but the man that takes Will in a rowboat the rest of the way stops before the inland and speaks French to him. His French translates to, "There's no way I'm going. I'm telling you, it's too dangerous." If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Ready Player One, one of the biggest differences between the film and the book comes with the first copper key? In the film, everyone knows where it is, and a race seems to start frequently for people to try and obtain it. In the novel, years go by without anyone knowing where it is, until Parzival discovers a place outside his school that makes him navigate a D&D campaign. After beating the demon in a head-to-head arcade game of Joust, he runs into Artemis, who had been trying to beat the demon for a month. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in John Wick 3, it's a known fact that Keanu does most of his own stunt work, but there is a scene where his fatigue shows. During the fight with the two shinobi, John Wick gets knocked down, and he's supposed to get right back up to his feet. Apparently, Keanu stumbled thanks to being tired from shooting all day, and he managed to play it off with a comedic beat that made it into the final cut. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Alien vs. Predator, Lance Henriksen adds potential lore to the series by playing Charles Bishop Wayland, who's the CEO of Wayland Industries. This company is a precursor to the Wayland-Yutani Corporation, and Charles Wayland is supposed to be the ancestor of the Bishop android from Aliens and Alien 3. Lance Henriksen also played Bishop in those films. He does some pen trick with his hand that Bishop does with a knife in Aliens. The AVP movies were decanonized as potential prequels to the Alien series, but it's possible that the Predator universe has its own representations of the Wayland Company and Aliens. Lance Henriksen also becomes the second actor to be killed by an alien, a predator, and a Terminator. Bill Paxton was the first. Did you know in Ender's Game, one could attribute its box office flop to poor performance or bad marketing, but it looks like it could be because of Orson Scott Card. Orson has been very open about his homophobic views, and he's actively campaigned against gay rights for years. This caused a boycott of the film. Lionsgate and Harrison Ford came out to express that their views were not shared with Orson, but that didn't stop the mediocre reviews and boycott from making this a box office flop. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Fight Club? In the scene where Marla finishes up her fun time with Tyler, she says that she hasn't been like that since grade school. But Helena Bonham Carter thought that meant something else. She didn't realize that in the US, grade school refers to primary school, and she was shocked to find out about that. Did you know in Stranger Things? Season 4, Max makes a reference to one of the first conversations he had with Lucas and Dustin. While Max and Lucas are beginning to reconcile, Lucas asks if he was there during some of her happiest moments, to which Max responds, "That's presumptuous of you." This is the exact same line that she said in her first real conversation with Lucas when they discuss Halloween trick-or-treating plans, and how Lucas and Dustin presumed that Max would want to join them, hinting that meeting Lucas was one of her favorite memories. Did you know in Loki, the Thanos copter from the comics can be seen in the background? In the 1978 Marvel Comics Spidey Stories number 39, Thanos uses a helicopter to try and reach Hellcat, who's stolen the Cosmic Cube. The helicopter has his name imprinted on the side, and if you look closely during the scene in which Loki encounters other variants of himself in the void, you can see that in the background, the Thanos copter can be seen amongst the ruins. It doesn't get used, but it's a small nod to any Marvel Comics fans. Did you know in the Ant-Man 3 Quantumania trailer, we get the first look at Chronopolis in the MCU? As we all know, the new villain of the Phase 5 Marvel era in Marvel is going to be Kang the Conqueror, who was introduced in the TV series Loki. Chronopolis, as we see in the trailer, was the stronghold for Kang, and was the place in which he ruled over all societies in his lifetime in the comics. The city exists half in limbo and half in reality, and the fact we see it in the trailer doesn't bode well for Ant-Man, as Kang starts his rule. Did you know in Top Gun Maverick, Iceman's story reflects the actor Val Kilmer's real-life health problems? Fans got to see the return of Iceman for just a few moments in the movie, and it's revealed by his wife that he isn't well and can barely speak anymore. He later succumbs to his illnesses, and tragically, it's a similar story with the actor who plays Iceman, Val Kilmer. Kilmer has been battling throat cancer since 2017, and as a result, has lost the ability to speak. Therefore, his voice in the movie was a combination of his son and previous recordings of himself. Did you know in Stranger Things, there are 3 references to Fast Times at Ridgemont High in Season 3, Episode 1? The music playing as the lifeguards walk to the pool is actually Moving in Stereo, which plays during the infamous pool scene at Fast Times. Dustin talks about how his girlfriend is hotter than Phoebe Cates, who plays in Fast Times. Then the scene where Steve feels his hat is keeping him from getting girls is similar to Judge Reinhold's scene, where he throws his hat out of the window. Did you know in Blonde, one of the topics that's up for debate is the nature of JFK and Marilyn Monroe's relationship. In the film, they suggest that he raped her and got her pregnant before sending officials to kidnap her and get rid of the baby. These scenes have been heavily criticized by journalists, cinephiles, and historians. But there has been evidence that points to an affair of some sort having happened. Did you know in Breaking Bad, the saturation levels of the scene reflect Hank's emotions? In Season 3, Hank gets the terrifying call that his wife has been in a serious car accident and is being airlifted to hospital. When Hank receives the news, the saturation levels of the scene drop drastically to portray his dread and drained exasperation. However, when Hank realizes he's been fooled and his wife is completely okay, the saturation levels progressively fade back to normal as his rage and anger levels rise. Did you know in the Ant-Man 3 Quantumania trailer, we get a first look at who Bill Murray's playing? While it hasn't been confirmed, the trailer seems to reveal that Bill Murray may be playing Krylar. Krylar is a deep cut from the comics, appearing and dying in The Incredible Hulk number 156. The character is a blue alien, and while Murray clearly isn't blue, he is wearing a blue jacket. And by the looks of it, he appears to be one of Kang's main leaders in Chronopolis. Did you know in Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor's handshake with Peter Quill references a story told in Thor Ragnarok? While saying goodbye to the Guardians, Thor does a handshake with Quill that has a move called the Snake You Cannot Trust. This is in reference to the story Thor's told in Ragnarok, of how as a child he was tricked by his brother Loki, who transformed into a snake and stabbed Thor. Given they were only 8 and Thor hated snakes, he still clearly holds a grudge for this betrayal from Loki. Did you know in Top Gun Maverick, both of Maverick's love interests have the same make of car? In the original movie, Charlie Blackwood drives around in a 1958 Porsche 356, which was actually a replica made especially for the film by Intermechanica. However, for the sequel they managed to secure the real deal. Penny Benjamin drives a 1973 Porsche 911S, a car that goes for over $200,000. That production managed to have lent them by a car collector. Safe to say, Pete Mitchell has a thing for women in Porsches.